day, everyone. My name is Taesu.
And I'm Fedor.
And wait, how come I don't get to change names?
You get stuck with your own because you're a loser.
I'm always crying in these videos.
This is the second video you've cried in a row.
I
But
feel
they
like
don't
you
have
were
to know
crying.
that. I was crying?
It was Fedor.
Yes. Well, we haven't introduced Ross yet. So in any case, we're coming to you from cheapwatchreviews.com. .com. And today we're going to be reviewing the actually very popular Orient Ray.
Yes. So you'll notice that this is very similar to a watch that we reviewed called the Orient Mako.
Mako. Like a shark.
Like a shark. And a ray is a stingray? Actually, I just thought of that. Stingray. There we go. That's why they named it that.
Is it after the Corvette?
Yes. It is the Corvette. But you'll notice
Wait,
they're very
is this
similar.
a Corvette? Is this the new C7 Corvette?
I don't know what a Corvette is.
A Corvette. Something inside of something because the core.
Right.
So it's internal. And then vet means what is
It means you make sure it's good enough. You have to vet it.
Vet it. Yeah, that's very good. So actually, interesting fact, Taesu, what's one of the cars you drive?
I drive a Corvette.
Oh, there you
Ask
go.
me what I drive.
What do you drive?
I also drive a Corvette.
We're apparently both physically very irresponsible.
And this is true.
And this is why we can only afford cheap watches.
Yes.
But you'll notice, so this is actually the evolution of the Orient Mako, which is a very cool, very popular watch. And it has very similar features to the Mako. If you're not familiar with it, I'll just go over the case, which is a 41.5mm case. So it's a little smaller than, let's say 42 millimeters, about average size for a dive watch. And this is a little bit smaller, but only by a little bit. It's only 13 millimeters tall.
That was such a vague description. Like it's a little bit smaller, but only by a little bit.
I don't appreciate your tone.
I'm sorry. No, I'm actually really sorry.
You might cry.
You should be.
I might cry because of guilt.
You should.
.com. Good
It
website.
is a good website. But it's actually a really nice manufactured case. You'll notice that there's some polished areas on the sides. It's brushed finish on the top. It has a very sub feel to the case. Submariner, that is, Rolex Submariner. It's got a day complication pusher, which is kind of cool. You push that and it'll change the day, which Fedor will talk about in more detail. And it's got some crown guards here, which is really nice. And you'll notice that the case back is screwed down, and it does have some kind of a nice engraved, if I can get this on the camera.
Which is an iPhone 5S Gold.
Yes. It's important to know it's gold.
Yeah,
it's got
gold.
kind of the engraved or
You know
etched
what?
Orient logo, which looks really cool.
I was just going to say why it is important for people to know, because I had to wake up at 2:50 a.m. on September 20th just so that I could place an order for the Gold 5S. And it took 2 weeks to get here, so it was a big hassle for me. In any case, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the movement a little bit. It is an automatic 46943 in-house Orient movement, which is pretty accurate. And I completely lost my train of thought. This never happens. I usually come up with something witty to say, such as 40 PR.
Power reserve.
So that means power reserve.
Yes.
I am not an engineer, thus I could not figure out what the acronym PR stood for. Oh, brother. So 40 hours of power reserve, which is about average for this price range, and actually for many watches. You know, you're not going to get like the quadruple barrel Panerai style here with over 100 hours of power reserve, obviously, but you know, it'll last you easily a day and a half. Actually, that made no sense because if you wear it, then it's going to charge itself.
Right.
So you cannot wear it for about a day and a half.
Right.
All right. Well, now that I've shamed myself, my family, I will pass it on to Taesu to talk about the dial, the hands, the crystal, and loom.
Yeah, so as you can see, the dial has applied indices, and it, as Ross mentioned previously, it does have the Submariner feel to it. And the hands have a pretty big loom to it. It's super luminova, so it glows very well in the dark. And its crystal is a mineral crystal without any AR coating, anti-reflective coating, as you can see. And the bezel is 60 clicks, unidirectional, and it feels very solid.
If you could turn it.
Yes.
It's funny
Unidirectional
because you
60
can turn
clicks.
Yeah, it is funny because you couldn't turn it. Why couldn't you do it?
I don't know. My hands were cold.
We
But
did
it-
have a giant snowstorm last night.
Yes, and it's very cold today.
Yeah.
But I really like the look of it. Very Submariner looking. So, very classic style.
Yeah, I guess can't really go wrong with that. Yeah, I guess one thing we haven't really talked about are is this pusher on top at the 2 o'clock position. So what that does, it's actually also screw down like the actual crown, and it changes our day. It goes from lundi to Tuesday to mardi to, what's that one? Wednesday to mercredi to Thursday. Oh wow, this changes to months as well. So you can have that either display the month or the day of the week. I did not know that.
You sure?
Or am I?
I think that's just a different language.
Yeah, but what's juillet? Septembre. All right, you know what? I cannot believe I've just wasted everyone's time with that. I'm so sorry. But in any case, so yeah, we have for the pusher and the crown, we have screw down pieces, and as well, the case back is also screw down. So Ross, can you tell us a little bit more about the water resistance and such?
Yep, so this is a dive watch. So it does have 200 meters of water resist, which it does say down here. One of the nice differences between this and the Mako is the Mako actually didn't have a loomed second hand, which for a lot of divers, that's really important. So,
Desk divers.
yes, desk divers, because that lets you know that your watch is actually running in low light situations. So that's a nice change there. You'll notice that it does have a screw down crown for both the at the 3 o'clock position to adjust the date and the actual time, and also the day complication, and the screw down case back, which also contributes to that as well. So they're all really nice features for a dive watch. I'll note that this is not a hacking or hand winding movement, which is about what you'd expect. The beat rate's about 6 per second, which is a little slower than like your ETA 2824, but it does sweep pretty smoothly, which is cool. And obviously we've been looking at the day-date complication. And Fedor, do you want to tell us a little bit about the bracelet?
Sure. It's a oyster-style bracelet, and the centerpieces actually have a really nice polished accent to them. So this reminds us a little bit about some of the Omega bracelets, which are actually 5-piece, whereas this one is just kind of built in. So in any case, obviously it doesn't feel anything like the Omega bracelets, but it does have a very nice look, and honestly, we think that it feels to me at least a little bit better than the Mako did, which you may agree or disagree, but I don't care. So the clasp mechanism is, again, for the price point, what you would expect. Feels similar to the Seikos to me, actually. But I think the Seiko might still have a little bit more of a positive feel. What do you think? Would you agree with that?
I'd agree. You know, one thing I've noticed about this clasp and the Mako is that sometimes they don't line up quite correctly. There's almost like too much play, and then it doesn't close correctly.
Yeah, you can tell with the hinge, with the center hinge, right?
Yeah. But it does, you know, it does look nice. It does have the decoration on it. It does have kind of the push release and some micro adjustments. So there are some nice features to it. The other thing I noticed that it is lacking is a dive extension, which would be really nice if you do plan to wear a wetsuit with this.
Yeah. So I guess, Teisu, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up?
Overall, for the price range, I think it's a great watch with a great look to it.
Yeah, I think all three of us agree. We've between the three of us, we've had quite a few of these Orient timepieces, and we like them. So you can go on our watch store, check them out, pick one up, try it out. Chances are we think you'll like it. And I must apologize for my earlier stumbles when I was trying to talk about the pusher. So I'm sorry, and it is my turn to cry now. Why are they laughing at me?
Yes. And so on that note, buy this watch, send it to me. That's me pointing at myself.
No, I felt like you pointed at me.
Actually,
Or
pointed
tasted
at
it.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure you pointed.
Okay, send it to taste good. Boy.